Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in this fine Saturday morning. My name is Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan. I am coming to you live from Joe Campagna Diamond at Warren Playground in Brookline, Massachusetts. Here to bring you live coverage of today's high school varsity baseball contest between the visiting Wildcats of Weston High School and the hosting Brookline High Warriors. Well, Brookline has been in a bit of a skid of heartbreakers over the past couple of weeks. They've lost a number of nail-biters, losing 3 straight games by 1 run to Braintree, Natick, and Milton, and then on Wednesday lost 9-4 to Wellesley, but still yet, despite a 4-13 record, Brookline's still clinging to a playoff spot as the MIAA Division I power rankings that were updated Friday morning came out with Brookline still holding on to that 32 spot in the power rankings, which would still grant them a spot in the state tournament. They're trying to hold on to that spot and improve their odds of keeping it with a good result here today in a game that was originally supposed to be played on Thursday, but if you stepped outside at all Thursday late afternoon when this game would have been starting, then yeah, that wasn't going to happen. Torrential downpours that day, and so the game got moved here to Saturday, and as fate would have it, I had that day open as well, so I'm able to be out here and cover this one, and I'm happy for it. The Wildcats coming into this contest with a record of 9 wins and 5 losses, and they are ranked 23rd in the power rankings in Division III, so Weston well on their way to a playoff berth in their division. Brookline a couple divisions higher, but don't count out Weston. Not only do they have the better record than Brookline this season, they've got some history on their side. Last year, these two teams faced off in Weston on April 17th, and Weston absolutely dominated Brookline to an 11-1 Mercy Rule win in 5 innings. Brookline hoping for a different result today as they push to keep their playoff hopes alive. As we get ready for what is scheduled to be a 10 a.m. start to this ball game, I'd like to take a moment for a local charity spotlight and tell you about Brookline Cares. Brookline Cares is a volunteer organization run by Brookline High School students, which seeks to raise awareness and funds to help people experiencing homelessness. Brookline Cares works closely with an organization called the Empowerment Plan. The Empowerment Plan hires and trains those experiencing homelessness to manufacture their special type of coat, known as the Empower Coat, which can double as a sleeping bag. The coats help to keep those struggling with homelessness warm during the colder months of the year, while the jobs manufacturing those coats can help break the cycle of homelessness through gainful employment. What Brookline Cares does is they purchase the Empower Coats from the Empowerment Plan, financially supporting the Empowerment Plan and all the work that they do. And then Brookline Cares distributes those Empower Coats to local community organizations and emergency departments that care for the homeless, helping to keep them warm more directly. And you can help them bring more warmth to those in need. Down in the description section of this video, you can find a link on the website classy.org where you can donate money to the Brookline Cares team, supporting their efforts to purchase more Empower Coats. Or if you're a student interested in joining Brookline Cares, you can find another link in the description section, this time to the organization's own website on wixsite.com, where you can find more information about the group and how you can contact them. Once again, check out the links in the description section below and help spread the warmth with Brookline Cares. And once again, you can check those links out in the description section. Certainly a good cause to support, as are all the local charities we spotlight on this channel. Let's go through the starting lineups for the two teams coming into this Saturday morning contest. We'll start with the visiting Weston High Wildcats, who will be batting here in the top of the first inning once that gets started. Leading off for Weston today, the left fielder, number 31, Ryuji Nawa. Batting second, the shortstop, number 25, Aiden Murphy. Batting third, the designated hitter, number 10, Ryan Hinckley. Batting cleanup, the first baseman, number 15, Dylan Conley. Batting fifth, the catcher, number 17, Massimo Buckbinder. Batting sixth, the second baseman, number 3, Brody Kohler. Batting seventh, the right fielder, number 1, Cole Murphy. Batting eighth, the third baseman, number 13, Johnny Dickey. Batting ninth, the center fielder, number 2, Mateo Buckbinder. And starting on the mound for Weston today, number 5, Thomas Keller. Just pitching, not in the batting order. Now, today's starting lineup for the Brookline High Warriors. Leading off for Brookline, the left fielder, number 9, Connor Fitzgerald. Batting second, the catcher, number 13, co-captain, Felix Hom. Batting third, the shortstop, number 2, Hugh Bollinger. Batting cleanup, the first baseman, number 4, Thaddeus Gummo. Batting fifth, the designated hitter, number 12, Harris Hodgson. Batting sixth, the center fielder, number 24, co-captain, Wally Lawrence. Batting seventh, the right fielder, number 3, Eli Hoffman. Batting eighth, the third baseman, number 6, Armand Tandon. Batting ninth, the second baseman, number 30, Danny Carballo. And not in the batting order, but starting on the mound for Brookline today, number 17, Nikolai Rabiner. Head coach of the Brookline High baseball team is Brendan O'Connor, with assistant coaches Colin King, Ryan Nealon, and Will McKay. So those are our starting lineups, and you can see the coaches meeting with the umps near home plate as we get ready to get this one started. We're slated to start in about 5 minutes now. And a reminder, as always, if you have anything you would like to say throughout this broadcast, I encourage you to say it either in the live chat here on YouTube or by sending me an email. You can see my email in the bottom right corner of your screen. Well, it's a bright, sunshiny day out here in Brookline. Weather in the mid-60s temperature-wise, and projected to keep warming up as the day goes forward. So quite the beautiful day for baseball. We got a noticeable breeze out here. Nothing severe, but still noticeable. Overall, just a very beautiful day. We haven't had too many of those this spring, so it's really nice to see. As Brookline takes the field for the top of the first inning, we take a look at the stats for our starting Brookline pitcher today, number 17, Nikolai Rabiner. Rabiner, he's made 8 previous pitching appearances, 7 of them starts. He's got a 2-4 win-loss record. He has pitched 36 2/3 innings over the course of his previous 8 appearances. He's got an ERA of 4.77, a whip of 1.85, and 47 strikeouts. So Rabiner, with a noticeable dip in his numbers compared to the electric season he had last year in his first varsity season, it's so hard to keep up a dominant performance at the high school level just because a season is such a small sample size in baseball. I mean, you think about a major league season, a guy can hit a slump for like a month and still come out with statistical numbers that roughly match what you expect from the guy. But in baseball, if you hit a slump for the equivalent of a month in MLB, that's basically the entire season. And so it can be really easy for stats to just kind of balloon out of control in a way you might not be used to seeing on an MLB stat card. But Rabiner, when he's been on, and we'll see how he handles things against this opponent. Weston, like I mentioned before, a Division III opponent, so on paper maybe an easier opponent than what Brookline's been facing their past number of games, but this Weston team did dominate Brookline in last year's matchup in Weston, 11-1 in 5 innings, so we'll see what this one looks like. First pitch of the ball game. Did it hit Nawa in his foot? He's trying to say it hit him in his foot, and the ump is saying no. First pitch of the game, and we've already got kind of a weird appeal going on here, as Ryuji Nawa, the leadoff batter for Weston, is claiming the first pitch from Rabiner hit him in the foot. The umps are saying they didn't see it. Oh, but he does win his appeal. So we're going to start things off with a hit by pitch here. That is the 5th hit by pitch of the season for Rabiner, and not how he wanted to start the game for sure. Nawa leading off from first is now batting the shortstop, number 25, Aiden Murphy. Takes strike one there. That pitch certainly looked a lot better from Rabiner than his first one. Swing and a miss there as Rabiner blows it by him for strike 2. Murphy had an electric day at the plate against Brookline last year. He went 2 for 3 with 2 doubles, a walk, a steal, 2 runs scored, and 1 RBI to help the Wildcats to their Mercy Rule win in last year's game. See Rabiner checking on Nawa at first. Low dipping breaking ball, ball 1, and the throw from Felix Hom sails into center field, and Nawa is going to take third base. A rare bad throw from Felix Hom. I think that might be the worst throw we've seen from him all season, which speaks to how consistent he's generally been, but the throwing error gives Nawa an extra base there. It was a good pitch to go on as Rabiner went for a strikeout pitch with a breaking ball as he tries to do the same thing again, but Murphy not biting on those low-dipping curves. Nawa taking second on the steal and then third on the throwing error. And that pitch high and away, ball 3. Rabiner trying a little too hard for those strikeout pitches that didn't pay off for him, and now it's up to a full count. And the fastball misses low, and that's ball 4. That's one of the things you got to be careful about when you get up in the count is you don't want to waste too many pitches trying to fool the batter and get him to chase something. You know, Rabiner's got good movement on his breaking balls, so I understand the temptation there as he throws to first to check on Murphy. But also, you just got to hit the zone and just trust that you're going to get the outs. Now batting the designated hitter, number 10, Ryan Hinckley. This fastball misses low for ball 1. Hinckley against Brookline last year, 1 for 3 with a run and an RBI. Batting here with no outs and runners at the corners. And he skies this one into left center. Lawrence chasing. What a diving catch by Lawrence. The runner is going to tag and score on the sac fly, and the throw home gets away. And Murphy will take second on the throwing error there. A highlight-worthy snag from Wally Lawrence out in left center, but ultimately it will put Weston on the board. A sac fly for Hinckley. Nawa scores a run. Murphy goes to second on the E8. Now batting the first baseman, number 15, Dylan Conley. 1 out, runner at second. First pitch in there for strike 1. Conley, last year against Brookline, went 1 for 1 with a double, a walk, a run scored, and 2 RBI. That one catches the inside corner, strike 2. Rabiner ahead in the count once again. We saw him kind of lose control of the situation against Murphy when he was ahead 0-2 in the count. This time the breaking ball hangs high for ball 1. That breaking ball works well, but it's fouled off as Conley got a piece of it. Stays alive at 1-2. Runner at second, 1 out. Swing and a miss. Fooled him with the high heat. Strike 3. Great mix-up of locations and pitch types there. Now batting, the catcher, number 17, Massimo Buckbinder. And that one way high for ball 1. Buckbinder last year against Brookline, 1 for 2 at the plate with a hit by pitch, a run scored, and 2 RBI. That one high for ball 2. Hom thought about a pickoff throw back to second, but opted against it as Murphy dives back. That fastball also misses high. Buckbinder, a shorter player, and Rabiner is struggling with the smaller strike zone here, as he has fallen way behind in the count. But that one finds the zone. Strike 1. 3-1 the count. 2 down, runner at second. Fouls this one off. Strike 2. Rabiner has battled his way back to a full count. Payoff pitch coming. And it's a high ball 4. Third free pass issued by Rabiner here in the first inning. And if you're Brookline, you're just hoping that's not a sign of things to come as this game goes on. That's been a problem, not just for Rabiner, but for the Brookline pitchers in general this season. Too many free passes issued. Strike 1 on the first pitch to the second baseman, number 3, Brody Kohler. Kohler against Brookline last year, 0 for 0 at the plate with a walk, a hit by pitch, and a run scored. Rabiner takes a beat off the mound and resets himself. Runners at first and second, 2 down here in the top of the first. And Hom fakes another throw back to second, as I believe that pitch missed for ball 1. That one hits the zone. Strike 2. 1-2 the count. Fouled off as Kohler stays alive. Rabiner trying to get out of a shaky inning with minimal damage. And that one fouled up the third base line. Kohler still battling here, not giving Rabiner an easy out. And that one lined. That's going to go through the gap into left. Murphy is going to round third and head for home, and that throw is going to come in high. He's going to score. A throw down to third is not in time. It's an RBI single for Kohler, who advances to second on the throw. So Rabiner not able to get out of the inning there as Murphy in to score. And then both runners advance on the throw, second and third with 2 down. Now coming up, the right fielder, number 1, Cole Murphy. Murphy did not play in the game against Brookline last year. And that one way high, ball 1. Rabiner's had some trouble with those high fastballs getting away from him. He's had a couple. That one's still too high, ball 2. Two walks and a hit by pitch already issued by Rabiner this inning, but he hits the zone there for strike 1. And again, that just displays the issue with giving too many free passes, as that one catches the inside corner for strike 2. I mean, so far, Weston's only got 1 base hit this inning, but they've put 2 runs on the board. This one skied into left field in foul territory, and it could not be chased down out and left by Fitzgerald. They'll simply keep the count the same at 2-2. This one skied out to left center. I don't know if they're going to catch this one. It goes to the wall. Extra bases for Murphy as he clears the bases with a 2-run double. Things getting out of hand here in the first inning for Brookline, as Weston has come out with a statement. 4 runs already in the first frame, and the inning marches on. First pitch to Johnny Dickey, lined into center, and another diving catch by Wally Lawrence. The co-captain out in center, laying out for a couple of balls this inning. The third baseman, Johnny Dickey, lining out to end the inning. But a tough start for Brookline, as they'll be playing from behind right from the word go. We move to the bottom of the first, with the Warriors trailing 4-0. It'll be Fitzgerald, Hom, and Bollinger due up. And this is an area where Brookline really has to carry the day. For as much as they've struggled in the pitching aspect of things, Brookline really having one of their best offensive seasons that I've seen out of them since I started covering this team, which basically accounts for all seasons of the literally accounts for all seasons of the 2020s, actually. And especially of late, Brookline has caught fire offensively, as they have scored about 45, 46 runs over the course of the last 5 games. So that's an average of about 9 runs per game over their last 5. And granted, they've been 1-4 in that stretch due to their defensive struggles. But if the defense can settle down after that tough first inning and their offense can keep up the rhythm they've been having, then there's still a chance for them. We'll just see what they're able to do. Last year against Weston, Brookline was only able to manage 1 run. Aiden Murphy, who is playing shortstop today, was the pitcher for the Wildcats in that one. He gave up 1 unearned run in 5 innings in that Mercy Rule game, allowing just 2 hits and 1 walk while striking out 8. So again, don't be fooled by the Division III classification for this Weston team. This is a strong team, and we'll see how today's pitcher, Thomas Keller, handles the Warriors lineup. First pitch to Connor Fitzgerald. He skies one deep out to center. Center fielder tracking it, and he backtracks to catch it. 1 pitch, 1 out. Some good contact from Fitzgerald, just a little too much lift on it, a little too under it. And now batting the catcher, number 13, Felix Hom. First pitch going to miss to the outside, ball 1. You can see the season stats at the bottom center of your screen. Felix Hom so far this season, a batting average of .327, a team-leading on-base percentage of .422, a slugging percentage of .400. He leads the team in doubles with 4, leads the team in hit by pitches with 3, and has 13 RBI. That one misses for ball 2. Hom has no steals or runs scored because as a catcher, he always has a courtesy runner come in for him whenever he gets on base. That one hits the zone for strike 2. 2-2, the count to Hom. Oh, chases that one high. Thought the breaking ball was going to break more than it did. And he goes down on strikes. Two quick outs for Keller. Now batting the shortstop, number 2, Hugh Bollinger. First pitch hits the zone, strike 1. Bollinger has been an electric hitter for Brookline this season. A team-leading batting average of .344, on-base .403, team-leading slugging percentage .574. He is one of 3 Brookline players with 1 home run this season. Got a team-high 4 triples, 4 stolen bases, 12 runs scored, and a team-high 17 RBI as he skies one deep out to center. Center fielder backtracking towards the wall and catches it on the track for out number 3. That one got me a little excited, but ultimately nothing doing for Brookline as the Warriors go down in order. So a tough first inning for Brookline, and at the end of 1, the Weston Wildcats lead 4-0. It'll be the 9-1-2 hitters due up for the Wildcats. We'll have Mateo Buckbinder, the last Weston hitter to face Nikolai Rabiner for the first time. And then we'll cycle back to the top of the order with Nawa and Murphy. And the number one thing for Rabiner has got to be control. Got to hit the zone and get those outs, because if not for 3 free passes, that large rally for Weston doesn't happen. There were only 2 base hits for Weston in that first inning, but they scored 4 runs because they got 3 additional base runners off of free passes. Leading off here and taking strike 1 on the breaking ball, the center fielder, number 2, Mateo Buckbinder. High ball 1 on the fastball. Mateo Buckbinder, he played center field in last year's game against Brookline, but just played the field did not bat. Now batting here this year. Fouls that one off to stay alive with a 1-2 count. That fastball misses low and away, ball 2. And that one comes in high, and Buckbinder fouls it off to stay alive. The Weston batters have been doing a good job battling against Rabiner, fouling off a lot of pitches to stay alive, but that time Buckbinder catches air on the breaking ball, strike 3. Now batting for Weston, the left fielder, number 31, Ryuji Nawa. Takes the first pitch in the dirt for ball 1, but this time the pitch in the dirt does not hit him in the foot, because that's what happened on the first pitch of the ball game back in the first inning. Nawa skies this one out to left, and it's a can of corn for Connor Fitzgerald for a quick out number 2. Rabiner off to a good start here in the second, hoping to finish off this second inning fast after a shaky first inning. Breaking ball drops in the zone nicely, strike 1. At the plate, the shortstop, number 25, Aiden Murphy. Murphy, his last time up, battled his way to a walk after falling behind 0-2 in the count, and then eventually came in to score off that 2-run double by the other Murphy, Cole Murphy. That one low for ball 3. Rabiner falling behind in the count. And misses that one as well. Second straight walk for Aiden Murphy in as many innings. And now with a runner at first and 2 down, up comes the designated hitter, number 10, Ryan Hinckley. Murphy taking off on the first pitch, and it gets away from Hom, and Murphy thought about taking advantage, but ultimately holds up at second with a successful steal. Weston aggressive on the base paths, and Brookline a little off their game in terms of containing them. That one hits the zone for strike 1. 1-1 the count to Hinckley. Hinckley got a sac fly to center field his last time up, put out by a diving catch from Wally Lawrence, as that breaking ball doesn't fool him. Low ball 2. That one in the zone for strike 2. Rabiner trying to get out of this inning with no runs allowed, and he is 1 strike away from doing that. And gets that last strike he needed. Hinckley goes down looking, and that will end the top of the second. So the 1 walk aside, a good bounce-back inning from Nikolai Rabiner. Now the question is, can Brookline generate some momentum offensively? It'll be the 4, 5, 6 hitters, Gameau, Hodgson, and Lawrence due up. And a tough absence for Brookline, both in the middle of the infield and the middle of the batting order, is senior co-captain Jimmy DiPaolo. Suffered a wrist injury sliding into home in the Natick game last week. Brookline has been doing their best without him. And we'll see how the middle of the order handles things here today. Leading off, the first baseman, number 4, Thaddeus Gameau, takes that one low for ball 1. Gameau coming off a big day at the plate against Wellesley on Wednesday, hitting his first varsity career home run. And now skies one out to left. That's going to curve foul for strike 1. Gameau on the season, a batting average of .311, on base .354, slugging .377, 1 stolen base, 9 runs scored, and 9 RBI. Fouls that one off for strike 2. Now hits a dribbler over to short. Charging in is Aiden Murphy. Throw to first is complete for out number 1. A 6-3 ground out to start. Now batting the designated hitter, number 12, Harris Hodgson. Hodgson, a guy who got off to a slow start offensively this season, but has found his rhythm of late as the Brookline offense has started to click. Fouls off the first pitch, strike 1. On the season, Hodgson, batting average and slugging percentage both identical at .226. His on-base percentage .333, 4 runs scored, and 4 RBI. That one skips in the dirt for ball 1. Hodgson skies one out to left center, and a bit of traffic out there, but catch is made by Mateo Buckbinder for out number 2. Bit of a teachable moment for the Weston outfielders, but ultimately they do make the play as the mistake does not cost them there. Now batting the center fielder, number 24, Wally Lawrence. Takes strike 1. Lawrence had a couple of electric catches in center field back in the first inning. Swing and a miss there, strike 2. Lawrence, his bat has gone a little cold after getting off to a pretty good start this season, now boasting a slash line of 167, 298, 188. Tied for the team lead in steals with 5. 10 runs scored and 5 RBI as he takes ball 1 there. Curveball hits the high inside corner. Strike 3. Brookline goes down in order for the second inning in a row as the pitcher, Thomas Keller, off to a very good start for the Wildcats. At the end of 2, the score, Weston 4, Brookline 0. It's going to be the 4, 5, 6 hitters. Dylan Conley, Massimo Buckbinder, and Brody Kohler coming up for Weston. Rabiner Bounced back nicely in the second inning. We'll see if he can keep the momentum going here in the third. Now batting the first baseman, number 15, Dylan Conley, as he takes one over his head for ball one. Conley went down on strikes his last time up, as that one hits the zone for strike one. This one lined out to right, and just out of reach for Eli Hoffman as it goes to the wall. Extra bases for Dylan Conley with a leadoff double. And that's tough as a pitcher who's, trying to throw strikes, who's had some problems with free passes early. To have guys squaring up your pitches like that. Dylan Conley with just a great line drive there as that ball skips in the dirt for ball one. At the plate is the catcher, number 17, Massimo Buckbinder. A throw back to second, and it gets away. Conley thought about taking off, but ultimately decides to stay put. Didn't get a good break there, and Rabiner is lucky that his throwing error does not backfire. Buckbinder, his last time up, he drew a walk and came in to score on that two-run double by Cole Murphy. Fouls this one off for strike one. 1-1 the count. Runner at second. Nobody out here in the top of the third. Weston up by 4. That one high for ball two. Ooh, did that one hit him? Yes, it did. A second hit by pitch for Rabiner this game. And Weston has 2 base runners on to start the inning. Now batting the second baseman, number 3, Brody Kohler. Rabiner turns around to look at second but does not throw. Just trying to keep the lead runner honest there. Bunt laid down, picked up by Rabiner, thrown to first. A successful sacrifice bunt from Brody Kohler moves both runners into scoring position with 1 out. Now batting, the right fielder, number 1, Cole Murphy. All 4 infielders up on the grass, as that's going to be low for ball one. Murphy came up with runners at second and third his last time up, and he delivered a 2-run double, as that one misses to the outside, ball two. Rabiner in a very tough spot here, as that one hits the zone for strike one. That one's going to miss for ball three. A walk, not the worst thing in the world in this situation, but certainly you'd prefer to get the out, as he gets a swing and a miss there for strike two. A full count now to Murphy. But that one's going to miss high, and he draws a free pass to first and loads the bases. Now with the bases juiced and one out, up comes the third baseman, number 13, Johnny Dickey. Dickey lined out to center to end the first inning. Now hits a grounder over to short. Bollinger fields it, struggles with the throw. He got one out at second, but 2 runs are going to score as a throwing error allows another one to come in. 2 runs in for Weston on the RBI fielder's choice for Dickey. And I mean, Brookline just lucky to get the out at second even, as Bollinger fell a little off balance fielding that grounder, and then his throw a little high to second, a pickoff throw, very close, but Dickey dives back safely. And that's a wild pitch. Dickey up to second. At the plate is the center fielder, number 2, Mateo Buckbinder, as he takes ball 2, and the ball dropped on the exchange. Brookline just looking all kinds of out of sorts. I mean, when even the exchange between catcher and pitcher is out of whack and it just feels like a pattern, that's how you know it's just an off day. Strike 1 there to Mateo Buckbinder. He went down on strikes his last time up. Now a 2-1 count with 2 down and a runner at second. Hits a hard grounder over to short, fielded by Bollinger. Long throw to first, and Gameau makes the stretch to grab that one for out number 3. Two more runs on the board for Weston. As we move to the bottom of the third, Brookline trailing 6-0. And they'll have their 7, 8, 9 hitters due up, trying to see if they can get any base runners on against Keller. It'll be Hoffman, Tandon, and Carballo due up in the bottom of the third. Leading off for Brookline, the right fielder, number 3, Eli Hoffman. First pitch misses just low, ball 1. Hoffman, so far this season, batting average and slugging percentage both at .152, on-base percentage .317, as that one misses for ball 2. 2 steals, 4 runs scored, and 2 RBI. Fouls that one off for strike 1. Hoffman, a guy who can give a pitcher a battle in the box, which is why he is ranked 4th on the team in walks, despite not being that high in the rankings on plate appearances. This one lined out to left. That's going to drop in That'll be at least a single. Hoffman rounding first, heading for second. Eli Hoffman with his first extra base hit of the season with a leadoff double. Brookline needed a spark of some kind as that ends what was up to this point a perfect game for Thomas Keller. Brookline finally getting their first base runner aboard here in the bottom of the third. Now batting the third baseman, number 6, Armand Tandon. Tandon still searching for his first varsity career base hit. So far this season, 0 for 13 with 3 walks, 2 steals, and a run. Slices that one foul for strike 1. You know, Tandon's had a couple of times reaching first base on borderline hit versus error, but so far those have, in my opinion, been reach on errors. That one skips in the dirt. Hoffman takes off. Might be a little over aggressive, but it might be the perfect level of aggressiveness as Hoffman's successful there. I don't know whether you call that a steal or advancing on a wild pitch, because it looked like he took off after the ball skipped in the dirt, but it didn't really get that far away from the catcher. For right now, I would score that as advancing on a wild pitch. Tandon hits a slow roller to first. Conley picks it up, checks the runner, and whoa, they called Tandon safe. They called him safe. Did Keller not touch the bag? And now the Weston coach coming out to appeal that one. That was a very unexpected call. That one either a single or an E3. Just a very weird play. Hoffman still holds at third, so no runs in regardless. Conley did a good job holding the runner, and it looked like he and Keller were going to connect on the 3-1 ground out, but then something happened. Keller kind of stumbled at the first base bag, collided a bit with Tandon, and after a conference, they do uphold the ruling that Tandon is safe at first. So runners at the corners for Brookline as the bottom of the order, making things happen for the Warriors. Now batting the second baseman, number 30, Danny Carballo. First pitch low for ball 1. Carballo so far this season, a slash line of 167, 250, 194, 2 steals, 6 runs scored, and 6 RBI. Tandon started to take off and then stopped, as that's a high ball 2 to Carballo. Big opportunity here for Brookline to get on the board with nobody out and runners at the corners. That one skips in the dirt. Well covered by Massimo Buckbinder to prevent a wild pitch. Ball 3. That one taken all the way for strike 1. 3-1 the count. Hoffman at third. Tandon at first. Tandon taking off. Carballo hits a grounder over to third. Fielded. They go to home. They miss the throw home, and the run comes in. Brookline on the board as the bottom of the order gets it done. So score that as a fielder's choice, but everyone is safe. Hoffman scores on an E5. And with runners at first and second and nobody out, we cycle around to the top of the order with the left fielder, number 9, Connor Fitzgerald. Fitzgerald flew out to center on the first pitch he saw his last time up back in the first inning. Now up with 2 on and nobody out. Shows bunt, lays it down right in front of the plate. Catcher comes out, juggles it. Oh, they caught Tandon between third and home, and it's a pickle. Tandon being caught, and he gets tagged out. Oh, that's tough. Armand Tandon overrunning it. Score that either a single or a sac bunt reaching on an E2 for Fitzgerald. Either way, he's safe. Tandon out between third and home. It's been a very weird inning in terms of scoring things. An unfortunate base running mistake for Brookline, as they could have had the bases loaded with nobody out. Instead, first and second with 1 out. Heads up play by Weston after the catcher juggled the ball and wasn't able to make the play at first. He instead went to third as he saw Tandon kind of relaxing a bit after rounding third and not going back fast enough. At the plate here is the catcher, number 13, Felix Hom. Count is 0-1 to him. Hom went down on strikes his last time up as he takes strike 2 there. A turnaround throw back to second, very close, but Carballo dives back safe. Big swing and a miss, and Hom is down on strikes for the second time today. 2 down now, and up comes the shortstop, number 2, Hugh Bollinger. Keller, after a rough start to the inning, trying to rebound and hold the damage to a minimum here. Only 1 run in for Brookline this inning so far, despite each of their first 4 batters reaching base safely. That pitch to Bollinger hits the zone, strike 1. Bollinger flew out to deep center his last time up. Almost got one over the fence, but not quite. Takes that one high, ball 1. Bollinger is the kind of guy you want up in this situation. Powerful bat. Team leader in RBI and triples, and tied for the team lead in homers. Checks his swing there for a low dipping ball 2. Slices one into right field. And that one dropped in fair territory. It's extra bases for Hugh Bollinger. One comes in on the RBI double. That one was behind my head. I didn't even see where it landed. But Hugh Bollinger continues his incredible offensive season, as I believe he is now tied for the team lead in doubles, as that was his fourth two-bagger of the season. Carballo in to score. Fitzgerald down to third. Skipping pitch blocked there by Buckbinder for ball one. At the plate, the first baseman, number 4, Thaddeus Gameau. Gameau grounded out to short his last time up. 2 runners in scoring position here, 2 out. And that one taken all the way for strike 1. Gameau, another good player to have up here, one of the better contact hitters for Brookline, and we saw in the Wellesley game on Wednesday, he's got some pop in that bat when he gets the swing he wants. Checks his swing there, low, ball 2. A base hit to the outfield could potentially score 2, with a pair of speedy base runners in Fitzgerald and Bollinger on the bags. And he lifts one, a bloop single to right. That'll score at least 1. Bollinger on his horse right from contact, and it's 2 in on a clutch 2-out single from Thaddeus Gameau. Just like that, it's a 2-run ball game. And the coach coming out to talk to his pitcher, Thomas Keller. This has been a very weird inning so far. It started with that leadoff double to left by Eli Hoffman. Then Armand Tandon hit that slow dribbler up the first base line and was called safe at first on a bit of a controversial call. Danny Carballo hits a grounder to third, which looked like was going to allow Hoffman to score after Hoffman moved to third on a pitch that skipped in the dirt but was blocked by the catcher. Hoffman just took off anyway, and he got to third safely on a throwing error to third. And then when Carballo hit the grounder to third, it looked like Hoffman was going to be out at home, but then there was a throwing error on the throw home. Hoffman scores. Then Connor Fitzgerald lays down a sac bunt attempt. The catcher can't pick up the ball, and Fitzgerald reaches safe, but then Tandon overruns third, and Weston picks him off between third and home. It was a very weird start to the inning. Since then, it's been a little simpler. A strikeout, a double, and a single, as Brookline has put 4 runs on the board this inning. Now up the designated hitter, number 12, Harris Hodgson, as he takes strike 1 there. Hodgson flew out to center his last time up. Now up with a runner at first and 2 down, and a 6-4 ball game. That one dipping low, ball 1. Fouls that one off, strike 2. One and 2 the count. And a defensive swing there from Hodgson. Gets a piece of it to stay alive. Looked like he kind of got fooled on a pitch to the outside part of the plate, but manages to foul it off. And fouls off the breaking ball there. Hodgson giving Keller a battle here in the bottom of the third. And Hodgson lifts one into center, but it's right at Mateo Buckbinder for out number 3. Classic case of good contact, bad placement from Hodgson there as he flies out to center for the second time today. But Brookline showing some fight here. And at the end of 3, the score, Weston 6, Brookline 4. It'll be the top of the order due up for Weston. Nawa, Aiden Murphy, and Hinckley. Due up for the Wildcats is Rabner back on the hill. He's had a very up and down day so far. But one of the big problems for Brookline this season has been a lack of depth at the pitcher position. And so a lot of guys have been asked to stay in games for a long time, even when things kind of go wrong and it's not necessarily their day. And I give the Brookline pitchers a lot of credit for the heart and grit they've shown throughout this tough season. Leading off for Weston here in the top of the 4th, the left fielder, number 31, Ryuji Nawa. Nawa, so far today, he has been hit by a pitch and flown out to left. Takes that one low for ball 1. This one high for ball 2. And he steps forward in that was the weirdest thing I've seen. He's like leapfrogged forward in the batter's box and showed bunt, trying to psych out the pitcher, I guess, but it was a successful strike. Now he skies one out to left. Fitzgerald on his horse tracking it, and he gets there for out number 1. Now batting the shortstop, number 25, Aiden Murphy. Murphy lines the first pitch he sees into left center. That's going to drop in the gap. Covered off one hop by Fitzgerald to hold him to a single. Well hit by Murphy, as that's going to be his first hit of the day after he was walked each of his first 2 plate appearances. He's now reached first base safely in each of his 3 plate appearances today. And what the heck, was the ump not ready for that pitch? This has been a weird game so far, ladies and gentlemen. Hinckley slices that one foul. Out on the right field side. That'll be strike 1. The designated hitter, number 10, Ryan Hinckley. A throw back to first, check on Murphy as he dives back safe. Murphy did steal second his last time on the base paths. This one sliced foul as well. Hinckley behind in the count, 0-2. Hinckley so far today 0 for 1 with a sac fly and a strikeout. Breaking ball, did he go around? They say he did, and that'll be strike 3. Hinckley down on strikes for the second time today. 2 outs, runner at first. Up comes the first baseman, number 15, Dylan Conley. Another throw back to first, and Murphy gets back again. Conley 1 for 2 so far today with a strikeout, a double, and a run scored. That one gonna miss, ball 1. And that one hits the zone for strike 1. You could see Murphy kind of start and stop there, trying to psych out Rabiner from his peripheral vision, but it didn't work on that one. Breaking ball tipped away, strike 2. And chases that one low for strike 3, but it's a wild pitch. Hom trying to throw to first to complete the strikeout, and he does. Good recovery by the co-captain behind the plate to complete the strikeout process there. The even-numbered innings seem to be the good ones for Rabiner so far. Gave up 4 in the first, 2 in the third, but has held off the Weston bats in both the second and fourth innings. We move to the bottom of the fourth. Weston leading 6-4. It'll be the 6, 7, 8 hitters, Lawrence, Hoffman, and Tandon coming up. Thomas Keller back on the bump for Weston for his 4th inning of work. Last inning was a rough one for him. A lot of tough mistakes in the field from the Wildcats, but also Brookline started squaring up his pitches. Now batting the center fielder, number 24, Wally Lawrence. First pitch skips in the dirt, ball 1. Lawrence went down on strikes his last time up. Fouled off there, strike 1. Lawrence, a veteran leader in multiple sports, named a co-captain on the boys' soccer team in the fall, and also here in the baseball in the spring as he takes a high ball 2 there. Swing and a miss there, strike 2. And gets fooled on a breaking ball again, strike 3. Lawrence has had a tough time with the curveballs dropping in the zone. He's had a lot of looking strikeouts the past few games. One out in the inning. Up comes the right fielder, number 3, Eli Hoffman. Hoffman got a leadoff double last inning and came in to score on the throwing error by the third baseman. This one skips in the dirt for ball 2. That one gonna miss low, and Hoffman's got a hitter's count at 3-0. Oh, he thought that was ball 4 and confidently tossed his bat off to the side, but the ump says, oh no, that was strike 1. Not often you see the batter get all the way to tossing the bat, as Hoffman now skies one deep out to left center, right to the wall. Eli Hoffman going for his second two-bagger of the day. Who needs a walk when you can get a double? Eli Hoffman provided the initial spark for Brookline's rally in the third. Could this be a spark for a rally here in the fourth? Now batting the third baseman, number 6, Armand Tandon. Fouls the first pitch off for strike 1. Tandon, his last time up, reached on a very weird play at first and then was caught overrunning third base. That one low for ball 1. Hoffman, last time he was on second, got very aggressive on the bases, taking off on a pitch in the dirt that was actually well blocked by the catcher, but reached safely on a throwing error. Tandon slices this one foul, strike 2. Tandon, he feels like he's on the cusp of getting the kind of contact he needs for a good base hit. Just hasn't quite gotten it yet. Tandon hits a grounder over to third, fielded well, thrown to first, and that'll be out number 2. A little on top of that ball that time. And it was fielded well by Dickey to make the play. Now batting the second baseman, number 30, Danny Carballo. Carballo, his last time up, grounded into what would have been a fielder's choice at home plate if not for a throwing error. Carballo later came in to score, as that one skips in the dirt, well blocked by Buckbinder, ball 1. Keller trying to get out of the jam and keep the lead at 2. Brookline hoping they can at least bring in one runner after getting the one-out double from Hoffman. That skips in the dirt, well blocked again, ball 2. That one does hit the zone, strike 1. Two and 1, the count to Carballo. That one catches the outside corner for strike 2. 2-2, the count to Carballo. 2 outs, runner at second. Slices it foul and stays alive. Good defensive swing from Carballo there. Keller did have him kind of fooled on a low-dipping breaking ball, but Carballo able to chase it and get a piece of it. And he slices one into right, but it's right at the right fielder, Cole Murphy, for out number 3. Brookline gets a runner to second, but cannot bring him home. Our score at the end of 4, still Weston 6, Brookline 4. It'll be the 5, 6, 7 hitters coming up for Weston. Massimo Buckbinder, Brody Kohler, and Cole Murphy. Nikolai Rabiner back on the hill for his 5th inning. He's had good fortune in the even-numbered innings, but the odd-numbered innings have been a rough time for him, giving up 4 in the first and 2 in the third. Can he break the trend here in the 5th inning? First pitch, Massimo Buckbinder lifts one out to right, and it's caught by Eli Hoffman for the 1 pitch out. That's certainly got to feel good for Rabiner. 1 pitch, 1 out. Now batting the second baseman, number 3, Brody Kohler. First pitch, he skies one into shallow right. Carballo calling for it, couldn't make the catch. And I think with the hands up from the ump, I think they're calling it are they calling it a foul ball? They did. They called it a foul ball. Kohler thought it landed in fair territory. A bit tough to make the call because it was landing right around the sliding body of Danny Carballo trying to make a play. Brookline catches a break on a close call there as it falls for strike 1. Kohler, hard grounder, bounces off the glove of Tandon. Bollinger picks it up, tries to make the throw, no dice. So Kohler gets to first regardless. I would score that a single, but you know, I'll check on Game Changer later. Runner at first, 1 out. Now batting the right fielder, number 1, Cole Murphy. A throw back to first, and Kohler able to dive back safe. Murphy 1 for 1 so far today with a 2-run double and a walk. Takes strike 1 there. Another throw back to first. Easy get back for Kohler as the throw is a little high. That one does catch the inside corner, strike 2. Ump seems to have a relatively wide zone today, given a lot of strikes on the inside and outside corners, calling it pretty much the same both ways, I would say. This one skied out to left center, and it's going to drop in the gap for extra bases. Fitzgerald takes it off the wall, throws to the infield, but the throw misses the cutoff man. And in to score from first is Kohler. Good piece of hitting from Cole Murphy, his second RBI double of the day. And for Brookline, some rough fundamentals on the throw there. Missing the cutoff man. I feel like that's been a problem on a couple of plays this season where they don't hit the cutoff man properly and it potentially costs them. At the plate is the third baseman, number 13, Johnny Dickey. 1-0 the count to him as the ump takes a moment to, I guess, talk to some people making a lot of noise. Runner at second, 1 out. That one hits the zone for strike 1. Dickey so far today, he's got strikeout and an RBI fielder's choice as he chases the breaking ball for strike 2. Strike 3 on the fastball, and Rabiner gets the second out. Now batting the center fielder, number 2, Mateo Buckbinder. That one skips in the dirt, well blocked by Hom. Ball 1. Buckbinder, so far today, he has struck out and grounded out to short. Hits a hard grounder, blocked by Tandon. Picks it up, throws to first, and gets there in time. Great recovery, great throw, and a great snag around the shoestrings by Thaddeus Gameau at first. It was a gutsy choice by Tandon to go to first on that play as he had a runner heading towards his base. Might have been able to catch him between the bags and make a play there, but he opted to go to first, and it proved to be the right decision. Weston still puts one more run on the board, expands their lead up to 3. Brookline will be trying to answer in the bottom half of the inning with the top of their order, Fitzgerald, Hom, and Bollinger. Keller back on the hill for his 5th inning of work. Warm-ups are done. Up comes the left fielder, number 9, Connor Fitzgerald. Fitzgerald, his last time up, laid down an attempted sac bunt that he ended up reaching safe on as the catcher struggled to pick up the ball. But the lead runner ended up getting caught between third and home. It's kind of an unsuccessful gambit his last time at the plate, but he did ultimately come in to score a run for Brookline. So it all kind of worked out in the end. That one missing to the outside, ball 2. 2-0 the count to Fitzgerald, the Brookline team leader in walks this season with 11. That one in there for strike 1. Checks his swing there and gets a low ball 3. Skies it out to left. I think that's curving into foul territory. It drops down there. They say it's a fair ball. Drops inside the line, and Connor Fitzgerald with a leadoff double. Man, there was no way I was going to spot that foul line clearly from all the way over here up the first base line. But Fitzgerald dropping it just inside the line for a big leadoff double there. Now batting the catcher, number 13, Felix Hom. Breaking ball, drops low but catches the low corner for strike 1. Hom has gone down on strikes each of his last 2 at-bats, hoping he can provide some support to the offense. Here is a pickoff throw back to second. And just barely Fitzgerald gets back safe. That one was very close. That was a very good pickoff throw from Keller. Skips in the dirt there. Fitzgerald takes off as the ball was bobbled. Another bobbling play there, as Massimo Buckbinder wasn't able to hold on to the ball off the bounce, and Fitzgerald takes third. That one low for ball 2. 2-1, the count to Hom. Hom lifts one into shallow right. That's going to drop in for a base hit. Fitzgerald in to score. It's an RBI single for Felix Hom. Hom, after 2 tough at-bats to start the game, comes through as Brookline cuts the lead back down to 2. The courtesy runner today, number 29, Bryce Hellendrung, getting his first opportunity to be on the base paths after Hom reaches base. Now batting the shortstop, number 2, Hugh Bollinger, a pickoff throw, and again, very close, but the runner gets back. We've seen some very good pickoff attempts so far today, even if none of them successful. First pitch and a big swing and a miss from Bollinger, strike 1. Bollinger 1 for 2 so far today with a flyout to center, an RBI double, and a run scored. Another pickoff throw, but this one is wild. Hellendrung popping back up and heading down to second. And Brookline gets another runner in scoring position, courtesy of the throwing error. Big opportunity for Bollinger now. A base hit to the outfield could cut the Weston lead down to 1. Runner on second, nobody out here in the bottom of the 5th. Skips in the dirt there, ball 1. Golfs it deep out to right. Right fielder chasing after it. He's not going to get it. Hugh Bollinger with another double. And coming around to score is Bryce Hellendrung. But they called it a foul ball. Everybody's got to go back. Cut the excitement, everyone. It was just a foul ball. Man, I thought it was another play like Fitzgerald's double earlier this inning where I thought it was foul but was actually fair. That one for a second I thought was fair but was actually foul. 1-2 the count now to Bollinger. Hits a grounder, past and through the gap, and Hellentrung is going to round third and head for the plate. Oh, wait, he stopped. Oh, wait, the throw is wild. Hellentrung retreating. Bollinger's overrunning between second and third. What a wacky play, but ultimately the result is runners at second and third for Brookline. Okay, for those of you scoring at home, all that goes down as on your program is a single, believe it or not. Hellentrung rounded third, headed for home, stopped halfway through. I guess he was afraid he was about to get caught, but then, and maybe the defense like faked him out or something. But either way, the throw from left field went wild. Hellentrung retreated back to third. Bollinger aggressively running, advanced to second on the throw home, and was about to advance to third, but then realized that Hellentrung went back to third and he had to go back to second. So that's where we are as we've got a new pitcher on the mound. Here it's number 11, Mateo Harris. So that is the end of the day for Thomas Keller. He pitches 4+ innings. As of now, he's given up 5 runs, an undetermined number of earned runs. If Weston holds on to this lead, then he would be the pitcher on credit for the win, having pitched the requisite 4 innings. But if Brookline finishes their comeback and ties it up, then he ends up with actually a no decision. It's actually impossible for Keller to be the pitcher on credit for the loss in this state, as he leaves 2 inherited runners on base, and if they score, they would be credited to him, but that would only tie the game. It would not give Brookline the lead. So in order for Brookline to take the lead and for there to be a potential losing pitcher for Weston, you have to give up the go-ahead run, which is impossible for Keller. Again, for those of you scoring at home. Big opportunity for Brookline here with the tying run at second and nobody out. Here in the bottom of the 5th, Brookline trying to complete a comeback. They were down 6-0 through the first 3 innings. Well, through the first 2.5 innings, I should say, as it was the bottom of the 3rd where the Warriors got things going. Now batting the first baseman, number 4, Thaddeus Gameau. First pitch fouled to the backstop, strike 1. Gameau got a 2-run single his last time up. He is 1 for 2 so far today. Another base hit here with the speedy Bollinger at second could tie this ball game. Swing and a miss. Couldn't time up that one. Strike 2. Brookline's got to get used to this new pitcher, Mateo Harris, who is coming out throwing strikes to start. Gets a piece of it there. Stays alive at 0-2. And he makes contact. Grounder past the third baseman. Helendrug's taking off, and the shortstop dropped it. 2 drops in the infield for Weston. And it may not have been the cleanest way, but Brookline does score a run. I'll score that one an E5 for Thaddeus Gameau, as Helendrung scores on the E5. Now batting, the designated hitter, number 12, Harris Hodgson, shows bunt, pulls back, low ball 1. Hodgson with runners on first and second and nobody out. It's a clear sack bunt situation, trying to move the runners along. Shows bunt again, pulls back again. Ball 2. It's a delicate dance here between pitcher, batter, fielders, and base runners in a situation like this. The batter trying to square up to bunt, but potentially pull the bunt back if the pitcher throws outside the zone. The pitcher trying to throw off the hitter trying to bunt by throwing something that's not a clean pitch to square up, but without missing too many times that you end up giving up a free pass. The runners getting ready to take off at a moment's notice, but need to be ready to stop if the batter pulls back. And the fielders trying to stay ready to charge in and field it, as Hodgson fouls off that one for strike 1. So even though a sack bunt feels like, you know, the most basic small ball kind of thing, there's actually so much going on in a situation like this. Pulls back for a high ball 3. Hodgson on the verge of drawing a free pass here with a 3-1 count. Now, do you still square up to bunt here? Do you pull back? Squares up, lays it down. It's in play, picked up by Harris. Throw to first in time. Hodgson is out, but does his job on the sack bunt, moving 2 runners into scoring position. A big situation here as up comes the center fielder, number 24, Wally Lawrence. Lawrence has gone down on strikes each of his last 2 at-bats. Now up with a big opportunity here. The tying run just 90 feet away. The go-ahead run at second. And that one skips in the dirt, and Bollinger's going to try and do it himself, and he ties it up. Hugh Bollinger with the wheels. He comes in on the wild pitch. It's a short distance between home plate and the backstop, but when you're a speedy runner who can get a good break on the ball like Hugh Bollinger is, you can take advantage of a play like that. Even here at Campagna Diamond, where sometimes it's a bigger risk due to the short distance between home plate and the backstop. 2-0 the count now to Lawrence. A tie ball game with the go-ahead run at third. Lawrence slices it foul, strike 1. Weston's now got the entire infield pulled in to try and get a play at the plate if Lawrence hits a ground ball. Swing and a miss there, strike 2. And cuts and misses there, strike 3. Two down, potential go-ahead run still at third. Up comes the right fielder, number 3, Eli Hoffman. First pitch hits a chopper to second, fielded clean by Kohler, thrown to first, and that will end the inning. But it's a whole new ball game now, folks. At the end of 5, we're all tied up. Brookline 7, Weston 7. What a thrilling comeback it has been for Brookline. And now the question is, can their defense hold on and give their offense the opportunity to win? It'll be Nawa, Aiden Murphy, and Hinckley coming up. Leading off here in the top of the 6th, the left fielder, number 31, Ryuji Nawa, as he takes a high ball 1. Brookline sticking with Nikolai Rabiner for his 6th inning of work, as that one hits the zone, strike 1. Rabiner got off to such a rough start in the first inning, giving up 4 in the first frame. He gave up another 2 in the top of the 3rd. Since then, he's been limiting Weston. Did give up a run in the top of the 5th, as the Wildcats have scored in every odd-numbered inning. The even-numbered innings have been the magic numbers for Rabiner, but a tough start to this one with a 3-1 hitters count to Nawa, and he's going to miss that one inside for ball 4. A leadoff runner on, as now up comes the shortstop, number 25, Aiden Murphy. Murphy has reached base safely 3 times today with 2 walks and a single. That one skips in the dirt, well blocked by Hom for ball 1. Weston's been aggressive on the base paths at times today. But Murphy skies this one deep out to right center. Outfielders going back, and Lawrence tracks it for out number 1. That one looked scary coming off the bat. But Lawrence, despite a tough day at the plate, he's had a very good day in the outfield for Brookline. Been tracking the ball well, showing great range, and the 2 diving catches he had in the first kept that game from potentially getting more out of hand for Brookline. And you know what? Saving a run defensively can be just as big as scoring a run offensively. That one in the zone for strike 1. At the plate, the designated hitter, number 10, Ryan Hinckley. That one missing to the outside, ball 1. Last time up, Hinckley went down on strikes. Gets jammed on that one for strike 2. Hinckley is 1 for... Or no, he's... what is he? He is 0 for 2. Runner takes off, swing and a miss for strike 3. Throw down to second, not in time. Nawa does get to second on the steal. They might be discussing the potential of batter interference. They do call batter interference, and they're going to send Nawa back to first. Hinckley strikes out for the 3rd time today. They ruled that Hinckley, after striking out as he was making his way across the plate and back to the dugout, interfered with Felix Hom's attempted throw to second base. and thus Nawa had to go back to first. No, they're saying he's out. The batter interference actually means Nawa is out. And so that will actually end the inning. The even-numbered innings continue to be magic defensively for Brookline. And now the Warriors, after trailing by 6 at one point, have an opportunity to take the lead here in the bottom of the 6th. They're going to be asking the bottom of their order to try and provide the spark once again, as it'll be the 8-9-1 hitters, Tandon, Carballo, and Fitzgerald coming up. Mateo Harris back on the mound for Weston. We got some notes in the live chat from someone who I guess is surprised to see this wind up on his feed. Man, I don't know. Online algorithms are, there's something. There's something all right. I mean, Pluto, if you decided to click on this video and when it randomly pops up on your feed, I hope you're at least enjoying it. If you're wondering what state this is in Brookline, Massachusetts. This is a high school baseball game here between Brookline and Weston. Leading off for Brookline here in the bottom of the 6th, the third baseman, number 6, Armand Tandon. First pitch, chases it as it drops low, strike one. Tandon grounded out to third back in the 4th inning. Reached on that weird play at first, his first time up. That one going to miss low for ball 1. So possibly 1 for 2, possibly 0 for 2, depending on how that first play was scored. Takes strike 2 there. Takes that one high for ball 2. Oops, forgot to update the out count and the bottom half of the inning. That one high for ball 3. A full count to Tandon to start the bottom of the 6th inning. And he lifts one into shallow center. A sliding catch made by Cole Murphy, who has been moved to center field from his original position in right, as he robs Armand Tandon of a potential leadoff hit. That one looked like it was going to be a bloop single But Tandon just unlucky that time. Now at the plate, the second baseman, number 30, Danny Carballo, as he takes a low ball one there. Carballo flew out to right his last time up. Whiffs on that one. Carballo reached on a fielder's choice his first time up and later came in to score. So 0 for 2 with a run scored so far today. Tips that one, strike 2. That one skips away, ball 2. That one comes in over his head, and for the second batter in a row, we've got a full count. Harris was able to get the fly out. Last time he had a full count. Let's see what happens with the payoff pitch here. Carballo skies one. Another fly ball to the outfield, being tracked out and left, and it's caught for out number 2. Two down here as the bottom of the order gives a lot of fight but ultimately cannot get anyone on base. We cycle back to the top of the order with the left fielder, number 9, Connor Fitzgerald. Fitzgerald, his last time up, got a leadoff double to start the 5th inning, sparking a big rally for Brookline in that frame. That one skips in around his feet for ball 1. That one also skips in the dirt, ball 2. Fitzgerald, his first time up, he flew out to center. His second time up, laid down an attempted sac bunt, reached as the catcher failed to pick up the ball fast enough, and ultimately wasn't successful in moving the runner as a lead runner got caught overrunning third base. Did come in to score after reaching, so it all worked out. He's now got a 3-0 count. The team leader in walks with a chance to get aboard as the potential go-ahead run. And he will. A 4-pitch walk for Connor Fitzgerald. Now batting the catcher, number 13, Felix Hom. Hom 1 for 3 with an RBI single and 2 strikeouts. His courtesy runner, Bryce Hellendrung, later came in to score. Fitzgerald taken off on the first pitch. It's in for a strike. Fitzgerald slides in safe. The throw way wide, but well covered by Aiden Murphy to keep Fitzgerald from going all the way to third. But the go-ahead run now in scoring position for Brookline here with 2 down. With 2 outs, Fitzgerald will be going on contact, so a hit to the outfield would most likely score a run. 1-1 the count to Hom. Brief break as Fitzgerald's redoing his laces over at second base. That one high for ball 2. Hom, like Fitzgerald, a very patient hitter, came into this game as the team leader in on-base percentage. As that one skips and gets away, and Fitzgerald takes third on the wild pitch. The go-ahead run now just 90 feet away for Brookline, but it still has to be either a hit or another wild pitch to bring in Fitzgerald. No sacrifice plays can work here. And that one misses, and it's a walk for Hom. And now as they send Hellendrung out to run for Hom, the question has to be, do you send Hellendrung up to second? Do you try and draw the throw even with 2 outs? Do you try and go for some kind of a double steal play? It could be risky. Hellendrung, a freshman, so not as much experience as some of the more veteran players, you know, runs the risk of something going wrong. But we'll see what they decide to do, as after a meeting at the mound, they are staying with Harris, as up comes the shortstop, number 2, Hugh Bollinger. Bollinger, 2 for 3 so far today, a fly out to center, an RBI double, a single, and 2 runs scored. Could he put Brookline ahead here? Oh, he got hit! Bollinger tried to hop around that pitch, and no dice as he will reach first on the hit by pitch. He'll run off the sting of that play. And now the tight clutch situation gets passed over to the first baseman, number 4, Thaddeus Gameau. Gameau reached on an E5 his last time up. Slice this one foul and right at me. It's okay. The equipment is fine. It didn't hit it. And it'll simply be a foul ball for strike 1. Gameau 1 for 3 at the plate so far today with 2 RBI. Golfs one into shallow left. Players charging in for it. It is caught. A stumbling grab out in left field by Nawa keeps Brookline off the board. Harris narrowly escapes the jam by the skin of his teeth. And we now go to the 7th and final inning of regulation with the score still tied at 7. It'll be the 4, 5, 6 hitters, Conley, Massimo, Buckbinder, and Kohler coming up. And Brookline still sticking with Nico Rabiner. T.E. Bray in the live chat saying, Grandpa from Milwaukee, go Brookline. And Pluto has now been converted into a Brookline fan, thanks to T.E. Bray. Thanks to the G Grandpa. Leading off for Weston here in the top of the 7th, fouling off the first pitch, is the first baseman, number 15, Dylan Conley. Conley, his last time up, struck out to end the 4th. Is that one? Oh, the ump's hurt. Oh my gosh. Well, boy, we certainly hope that the ump is okay. Takes a shot on that pitch there after the batter got out of the way. being looked at by training staff. Man, you don't want to see anyone being looked at by training staff, whether it's player, a coach, or an ump. Oh, man, that's tough. I hope he's okay. You know, those of you who've been following my broadcast for a long time, you know one of the things I always say is, you know, give respect to your local umps. You know, I know you're not going to agree with every call that they make. Sometimes there'll be close calls that won't go your team's way and you won't like it. But you know what? At this level, these umps, they're getting paid peanuts to be out here. You know, this isn't their full-time job. You know, this is a side gig that they're doing for nothing else other than love of the game and love of the local communities. And without them, the game does not happen. And, I mean, you hear all the time about umps and refs and other officials being driven out of the youth game by just people just being verbally abusive to them. And we need them. We need them here. The game does not happen without them. I always say, the game goes on whether I'm here or not. The game does not go on if the umps aren't here. So that's my brief little PSA. You know, thank your local youth level official when you get a chance, because they're part of the group of people that make these games happen and give these kids this opportunity to play this great game. The ump is back on his feet to a round of applause from all involved. The infield ump, his partner in the officiating crew today, seems to be in a jovial, joking mood. As the infield ump was kind of joking at the infield, the Brookline infielders, they were down on one knee out of respect for the injured umpire. The ump saying, "Don't sit down on a baseball field." So, lightening up the mood a little bit. You know, and speaking of people that are part of these games that don't get enough credit, how about a shout out to the Brookline training staff coming out here on a Saturday and being available to help when they're needed. Back to the action as Conley skies this one, foul and out of play for strike two. You know, I know the spotlight during these games is rightfully on the players and sometimes on the coaches, but lots of other folks make these games happen as Conley chops that one foul up the third base line. One and two, the count to Conley. Ooh, did he go around on that one? Are they saying it hit the zone regardless? Conley was kind of confused by that one. He didn't think he was out. But the ump says you're out. One down, and up comes the catcher, number 17, Massimo Buckbinder. First pitch going to miss, ball one. Whoa, and a timeout called by the ump as Rabiner, who has a very quick pace between his pitches, was throwing one, but that one's not going to count. In the zone, strike one. Massimo Buckbinder, his last time up, flew out to right. Curveball there comes in high. Ball two. Buckbinder takes a break out of the box and steps back in. Swing and a miss there. The Heat gets by him for strike 2. Sliced foul, and he stays alive. Buckbinder 0 for 1 so far today with a walk, a hit by pitch, and a flyout as that one skips in the dirt, and we got a full count. One out, bases empty, payoff pitch coming, and he makes contact and fouls it up the third base line to stay alive. Buckbinder complaining a bit as he was calling for a timeout, but Rabiner, again, so quick between pitches, he doesn't give you much opportunity to call time. That one catches the corner for strike 3. Big strikeout get for Rabiner as he retires the first 2. If Rabiner gets one more out, this would be the first odd-numbered inning that he didn't give up a single run. He gave up 4 in the first, 2 in the third, and 1 in the fifth, and now he's trying to give up 0 here in the 7th. At the plate, the second baseman, number 3, Brody Kohler. Slices it foul. And that's going to go out of play for strike 1. Kohler, his last time up, reached on what I think was a single. I put kind of a question mark next to it, but he ultimately scored a run. Lines a shot to left. That's going to drop in for a clean single for Brody Kohler. Innings not over yet here in the top of the 7th. Now batting is a very electric hitter today, the center fielder, number 1, Cole Murphy. He's had 2 big doubles, and he lifts one into left center. It looks like he's going to have extra bases again. Going to the wall. Murphy up to second. Runners being sent around. The cutoff throw is hit. A throw to the plate, not in time. And Weston takes the lead as it's a 3rd RBI double for Cole Murphy. What a day for Cole Murphy. 3 doubles and 4 RBI, plus a sliding catch in center field for the Weston outfielder. Now batting the third baseman, number 13, Johnny Dickey. First pitch in the zone, strike 1. Hits a slow-rolling grounder that dies on the grass. Gameau flips it to Rabiner. Gets the out at first, but you can see the frustration from Rabiner there as he gives up the lead off back-to-back 2-out base hits. We move to the bottom of the 7th. Brookline needs 1 run to tie and 2 to win, and it will be the 5, 6, 7 hitters, Hodgson, Lawrence, and Hoffman, coming up. Weston sticking with Mateo Harris to try and get the win on the mound. Well, it's been a season of nail-biter contests for Brookline. 8 of their so far 17 games this season have been one-run ball games, but Brookline, unfortunately, has been on the losing side more often than they've been on the winning side, as their record in one-run ball games this season is 2-6. And, of course, 3 of those all came in a row, as last week they lost in back-to-back walk-off losses to Braintree and Natick. And then at the start of this week on Monday, they lost another nail-biter to Milton, as they nearly came back from a 4-run deficit in that game, but ultimately came up just short. Can Brookline deliver some magic here in the bottom of the 7th? Or will they lose another nail-biter here? Leading off in the bottom of the 7th, the designated hitter, number 12, Harris Hodgson. First pitch inside, ball 1. Hodgson laid down a sac bunt his last time up. That one inside as well, ball 2. That one in the zone, strike 1. Hodgson 0 for 2 with a pair of flyouts to center and the sac bunt. Checks his swing there and gets the favorable call, ball 3. Hodgson just trying to put the tying run on base here in the bottom of the 7th. And he gets the walk. That's a huge way to start the inning for Brookline. And the question is, will they send out a pinch runner for Hodgson? Hodgson has 0 steals so far this season, as we're going to have another change on the mound. It'll be number 13, Johnny Dickey, taking over on the mound for Mateo Harris. Harris took over in the 5th inning for Keller. Pitched 2 innings with no runs credited to him, although he did allow 2 inherited runners to score. Dickey, who was the starting third baseman, will come on to try and get the save here with his team leading by 1. Tying run is at first with nobody out. Coming up will be the center fielder, number 24, Wally Lawrence, who is so far 0 for 3 with 3 strikeouts. Pluto in the live chat saying devastating loss, but it's not a loss yet for Brookline. They still have a chance. So with Brookline needing 1 run, I wonder if maybe you go for the sac bunt with Lawrence. I mean, Lawrence is a fast runner, so there's an off chance he maybe gets to first safely anyway. And he knows when to pull his bat back when he's showing bunt to draw a ball outside the zone. So that could be a good strategy to move the tying run into scoring position. I wouldn't be surprised if we see that here with nobody out and the tying run at first. And then if they do that, next up would be Eli Hoffman, who's got 2 doubles today. A pickoff attempt at first, and Hodgson dives back. A relief pitcher comes in, and before he even throws his first pitch, he makes a pickoff attempt. But Hodgson, a good eye, ready for it. Shows bunt, pulls back. Ball 1 as that skips in the dirt. Well blocked by Buckbinder, and Hodgson not chancing it. Goes back to first. Dickey's got to be careful if it gets away from Buckbinder too much. Lawrence lays it down. Picked up by Dickey. Throw to first in time for the out. But Lawrence does his job and moves the tying run into scoring position. Now batting, the right fielder, number 3, Eli Hoffman. Hoffman 2 for 3 with 2 doubles. First pitch in the zone, strike 1. Hoffman grounded out to second to end the 5th inning on his last at-bat. Now up in a big position here. Fouls that one off, strike 2. Brookline leaning on the bottom of their order here in a 1-run ball game here in the final inning. Hoffman behind that pitch. He fouls it off up the third base side. Stays an 0-2 count. Swing and a miss. Hoffman couldn't keep up with the speed of Dickey's pitches, and he goes down on strikes. And the last chance for Brookline here in the bottom of the 7th, the third baseman, number 6, Armand Tandon. First pitch, and he launches one deep to left, going back towards the wall. It's at the wall. Armand Tandon, clutch as clutch can be. The game-tying double. Hodgson comes in to score. And I'll tell you, I wasn't sure whether his play earlier this game was a single or a reach-on error. I choose to call that his first varsity hit because, wow, what a time for it. Brookline ties it up, and now with a chance to win, up comes the second baseman, number 30, Danny Carballo. That one curves into the zone, strike 1. A hit from Carballo could win the game for Brookline after they tie it up on that huge double from Armand Tandon. That one low for ball 1. Carballo flew out to left his last time up. He is 0 for 3 so far today. Curveball misses to the outside, ball 2. Skips in the dirt. Tandon's taking off and takes third on the wild pitch. A 3-1 count here in the bottom of the 7th with the winning run at third and 2 outs. And that one misses, and Carballo strolls down to first. Now coming up with a chance to win the ball game, the left fielder, number 9, Connor Fitzgerald. It has to be a base hit or a wild pitch to win this ball game. Tandon at third, Carballo at first. First pitch, skies it to left. Left fielder tracking it, and he's got it. That will end the inning. But folks, would you believe we're going to extra innings? At the end of 7, no winner has yet been decided. Our score, Brookline 8, Weston 8. And would you believe Brookline is sticking with Nikolai Rabiner into extra innings in this ball game? It will be the 9-1-2 hitters coming up for Weston. Mateo Buckbender, Ryuji Nawa, and Aiden Murphy. We've got a new batter coming up in place of Mateo Buckbender. I think I see number 27. Swing and a miss at the first pitch from Rabiner. Strike 1. Swing and a miss for strike 2. Number 27 is Beckett Tower. And 3 pitches, 3 strikes from Rabiner. Not backing down from the challenge of an 8th inning of pitching at all. But that is actually going to be the end of the day for him. 7 1/3 innings pitched for Nikolai Rabiner. What a gutsy performance from him. You know, it wasn't his best day. He did give up 8 runs over the course of those 7 1/3 innings. So not the kind of day that's going to boost your ERA all that much, but certainly the kind of day that you can hang your hat on and say you kept in there and kept fighting. Taking over on the mound now for Brookline will be number 12, Harris Hodgson. Hodgson, who just scored the tying run on that big RBI double from Armand Tandon. He's made 7 previous relief appearances. He's got an 0-3 win-loss record. He's pitched 13 2/3 innings in his previous 7 appearances. He's got a 5.12 ERA, a a 2.93 whip, and 3 strikeouts. It's been an up and down season for Hodgson, who I think pitched just 1 inning last season and has been a much bigger part of Brookline's pitching staff this year. Coming in a very high-pressure situation here in extra innings. Not as tight a spot as it could be for a reliever to come in for sure, as not only are you coming in with the bases empty, you're coming in with 1 out already. You know, a lot of times the most comfortable spot for a reliever to come in is just at the start of an inning with no outs and the bases empty. Hodgson getting 1 out and the bases empty. He'll be facing the top of the Weston order as up comes the left fielder, number 31, Ryuji Nawa. Breaking ball hits the zone, strike 1. Hodgson, a lefty, so his pitches are going to be coming in very different looking than Rabiner to the Weston hitters, as that one hits the zone for strike 2. Hodgson also just a very different style of pitching from Rabiner, as that one skips in the dirt for ball 1. A lot of pitchers, Rabiner included, like to use their fastball to set up their breaking ball. Hodgson can sometimes be a little different, using his breaking ball to set up his fastball. 1-2, the count to Nawa. Breaking ball just missed, ball 2. Nawa walked his last time up, slices that one foul, and stays alive at 2-2. Nawa walked, but was called out on the bases due to batter interference on an attempted steal. Gets a piece of that one as well, continues to fight here. Not giving Hodgson the easy out. Now lines a shot to left and tracked by Fitzgerald. Seemed to misjudge it on his initial break towards the ball, but was able to adjust well and chase it down for the second out. Two down and the base is empty. Up comes the shortstop, number 25, Aiden Murphy. Slices that one foul for strike 1. Murphy flew out to center his last time up. Before that, had a single and 2 walks. Checks his swing on that one as it doesn't break that much. Comes in high for ball 1. That one comes in high as well, ball 2. And that's a low, ball 3. Hodgson has got to keep his control here. Can't let things get away from him, even with 2 outs in the inning. 3-1, the count to Murphy. This one lifted out to left. Fitzgerald charging in, and he's got it for out number 3. Hodgson does his job out of the bullpen. We move to the bottom of the 8th. Brookline just needs 1 run to end it. Can they come out of this one in victory? It'll be the 2, 3, 4 hitters, Hom, Bollinger, and Gameau. Weston will be sticking with Johnny Dickey on the mound for the 8th inning. Dickey took over for Harris after Harris gave up a leadoff walk to Harris Hodgson. Dickey blew the save opportunity after giving up the game-tying double to Armand Tandon. And now has to get through this inning at least to avoid the potential pitching loss. Leading off for Brookline here in the bottom of the 8th, the catcher, number 13, Felix Hom. First pitch high, ball 1. Hom, no stranger to clutch situations. He had a walk-off sac fly last year on Patriots Day. As he takes a low, ball 2. Right now, he's just hoping to get on base to put the a potential winning run on the bases. That one misses high, ball 3. It can be so tough for pitchers at this level to maintain their control, especially coming in a high-pressure situation as a reliever. It's going to be a 4-pitch leadoff walk for Hom, and the winning run is aboard. The courtesy runner, Bryce Hellendrung, will be representing the potential winning score at first base. Now batting the shortstop, number 2, Hugh Bollinger. Hits a chopper to third, fielded clean, thrown to second. The throw is dropped. Everyone reaches safely on the E5, and the winning run is now in scoring position. A base hit to the outfield could win it for Brookline. Up comes the first baseman, number 4, Thaddeus Gameau. Shows bunt, puts a bunt in play up the third base side. Buckbinder bobbled it, and everyone reaches. Bases loaded with nobody out for Brookline. And now, with a chance to be both winning pitcher and winning hitter, coming to the plate is the pitcher, number 12, Harris Hodgson. Bryce Hellendrung, the potential winning run at third. All Hodgson needs to do is get the ball to the outfield. First pitch in the zone, strike 1. Hodgson, his last time up, drew a walk to lead off the 7th. Came in to score the tying run. Can he drive in the winning run here? Takes that one high for ball 1. A walk or a hit by pitch would also win it for Brookline with the bases juiced. Fouls that one off, strike 2. One and 2, the count to Hodgson. Swing and a miss, and Hodgson goes down on strikes. Big out get for Dickey. As now, there's a chance you could get an inning-ending double play, or Wally Lawrence could potentially be the hero for the second time this season. First pitch in the zone, strike 1. Lawrence so far 0 for 3 with 3 strikeouts and a sac bunt. He had a walk-off game-winning single earlier this season. Takes ball 1. That one catches the zone, strike 2. Oh, you definitely don't want to go down on strikes here and make it 2 outs. High ball 2. Every pitch so intense here. Bases loaded, 1 out, tie ball game in the bottom of the 8th. 2 and 2, the count to Lawrence. Makes contact, and that's fielded at second. A throw to home is caught. They make the fielder's choice play at home. And this game is still not over. What a play by Brody Kohler. And what a stretch by Massimo Buckbinder. He's had so many tough plays trying to catch the ball throughout the day, but he made a really big catch there to rob Brookline. Now the last chance of the inning for Brookline. Number 3, Eli Hoffman. First pitch, high ball 1. Hoffman started off this game with electricity, 2 doubles in his first 2 at-bats. Since then, he has flown out and struck out, or grounded out and struck out. Foul tips that one, strike 1. 1-1 the count. Bollinger, the potential winning run at third. It has to be a hit, a walk, a hit by pitch, or a wild pitch, or a balk, or something like that. That one gonna miss. Ball 2. 2-1 the count. Bases loaded. 2 outs. Tie ball game in extra innings. That one catches the inside corner, strike 2. Hoffman down to his final strike. High ball 3. Folks, would you believe it is full count, 2 outs, bases loaded, tie ball game, extra innings, biggest pitch possible coming up here. High ball 4. It's a walk-off walk for Eli Hoffman, and Brookline wins. Bit of an abnormal walk-off finish, but the Brookline Warriors After so many tough one-run ball games and after so much struggle with issuing walks, finally the walk breaks their way. A walk-off, bases-loaded walk from Eli Hoffman. Hugh Bollinger comes in to score, and the final score here at Joe Campagna Diamond, the Brookline High Warriors 9, the Weston High Wildcats 8. Well, it may have been an unorthodox way to win the ball game, but you know what? That doesn't take away from what an absolute gem of a ball game this one was. Brookline coming back from down 6, tying up the game. Weston takes the lead in the final inning. Brookline comes through with a clutch tying hit from Armand Tandon to force extra innings. And then Eli Hoffman, who got the offense going all the way back in the 3rd inning with his leadoff double, he finishes the job with a walk-off walk as Brookline gets their 2nd walk-off win of the season. Brookline's record on the season improves to 5-13. Their record in one-run ball games this season improves to 3-6. Weston's record drops to 9-6. Although I imagine with a one-run margin against a higher division opponent, I don't think this will affect their power rankings too much. Brookline, meanwhile, continues their fight to stay inside the top 32. There are 2 games left on the schedule for Brookline. Monday against Newton North back here at Joe Campagna Field. And then Wednesday against Framingham. That's actually going to be over at Parsons Field, owned by Northeastern University. There's plenty of excitement to come for next week. But for this week, that's going to do it. Thank you all so much for tuning in today. I am Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan. Yuli in the live chat saying let's go to celebrate Brookline's win for our last note in the live chat. Remember, folks, if you enjoyed this broadcast, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Thank you to all those who participated in the live chat here today. If there's anything you'd like to say after the live stream is concluded, you can say it in the comment section down below. You can also go down below to the description section of this video, where you can find some links related to our local charity spotlight today, Brookline Cares. You can also find some links related to me that you can also see in the bottom right corner of your screen. My personal website, jessesports.com, my email, and my social media accounts on Instagram and Facebook. I'll be posting highlights from this game later today on this channel here on YouTube, as well as on my social media on Instagram and Facebook. Brookline 9, Weston 8 from Joe Campagna Field at Warren Playground in Brookline, Massachusetts. I am Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan. Thank you all for watching, and enjoy the rest of your weekend.